Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back, and if this is your first time here, if you're new to this channel, thank you for clicking on this video. Please stay by clicking on the subscribe button. This channel is basically me sharing my lifestyle and tips on motherhood, parenting, finances, just life generally as a woman. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing some tips on how to get your life together in your 30s. For me, I feel 30s is a very beautiful decade, because it is that decade and it's a beautiful decade, and it's also one of the most important decade in your life. Why I say this is because, of course, if you're below 18, you're definitely like a child. Yes, I said it. If you're below 18, you are still a child, okay? And I feel 20s is just that year where you just like experiment with life, you know, what's your own, you know, just go out there, have fun, do this, you know. Some people are just graduating from school at that age, you know, and I feel that's what 20s is about. It's about you exploring, about you like learning. It's also a learning phase as well, and just like starting up your life, okay? But then when you come to 30s is where I feel all those things you've learned in your 20s is where you're supposed to like put them into practice in your 30s, get your life together, and then, you know, wait for the next decade. Because the next decade, when you're in your 40s, that's like, they say life begins at 40, right? Life doesn't just begin at 40 if you have wasted your 20s and your 30s. So I feel 30s is like a very important phase in everybody's, in a very important decade in everybody's life. And it is so important that we get our lives together in our 30s. So this video basically is for anybody who is about to turn 30 or anybody who is already in their 30s. And yeah, you just want to just get your life together and you want to just like make some changes. So I'm going to be sharing some tips on, I am personally also in my 30s as well, obviously. Is it that obvious? Is it that obvious? So yeah, I'm just going to be sharing some of my personal experiences, some of the things that I have applied in my own life, okay? Now, my very first tip is, I feel 30s is the time that you need to create yourself. Like, that is when you become a brand. You know, there is one thing to just be you, and then there is you that is the brand. Like, when people think about you, what comes to their mind first? So I think 30s is that year, or is that decade rather, where you just create your brand. Yeah, you as a person, you as a brand. You make yourself a brand. So basically, I'm just saying, brand yourself, okay? Who do you want to be as a woman, as a man? So before I continue, I want this video to be as generalized as possible. So I'm talking to anybody in their 30s, whether you are a man, whether you're a woman, whether you are married, whether you're about to get married, or whether you are not even thinking about marriage at all. So it's going to cut across to everybody within this category. If my voice sounds weird, I'm so sorry about that. Well, am I really that sorry? It's not my fault. I have cold, so I'm dealing with that at the moment. So the first thing, like I said, is this is when you need to brand yourself. You need to be a brand. Yes, you as a person. Yes, you be a brand. So in your 20s, like I said, I'll always make reference to your 20s because obviously that is where you're coming from. That might be a time where you did not have like your self-worth. People could just like talk to you anyhow, do anything they want to do to you, and you were just trying to like, you know, get to know yourself, become who you are and everything. So I believe now that you are in your 30s, you should have gotten experience, should have taught you a lot of things, okay? And this is where you create your brand. Like, for example, you want to be perceived as sophisticated, as hardworking, as industrious, as whatever it is, you know. This is the time you need to create that brand. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to invest in your looks. Oh my goodness, I feel like a lot of people do a lot of things. Like, you want to make money, you want to do this, you want to do that, but then we forget our looks. A lot of people who are in their 40s look 20s, and I'm just like, how, sis? A lot of people who are also in their 30s look like they are in their 50s, and I'm just like, wow. I just see people who are in their 40s, and whenever you listen to them talk about, you know, how they got to where they are, why they look so pink in their 40s and everything, they make reference to taking care of themselves as way back as when they were 18, when they were 20, when they were 25 and all that. And so I think we should not neglect the looks part, because in as much as you have said, yes, you want to create a brand, you want to become a brand for yourself, it works hand in hand, right? Because we're gonna see you first. Your look is what we're gonna see first, okay? So we need to invest. You need to invest in your looks, and I think 30s is that time for you to invest in your looks. So investing in your looks is not maybe like buying expensive clothing or buying, like, you know, wasting your money up and down, because we don't want to waste money in our 30s as well. But it can just be something as simple as having a good skincare routine, having a good diet, eating properly, yeah, buying nice things once in a while as well, because, you know, that's all part of the looks. People think that, oh, it's when I get to 40 years, when I get to 50 years, I'll go and start looking for age defying, or I'll go and start eating healthy so that, you know, we can fight aging and all that. But when you look at it, and when you see people who look really good in their 40s and in their 50s, they make reference to their lifestyle as way back as when they were much younger, when they were in their 30s, when they were in their 20s. And I feel 30 is like that time when you need to start investing. So today, like, if you're in your 30s, you need to invest, like, have a good skincare routine, eat healthy, take your vitamins, take your multivitamins, buy nice, worthwhile clothing once in a while. Okay, don't just go all out and just spend all your money on clothes, but like, there are clothes that you will buy, and because you've taken care of yourself, you're not gaining weight up and down or losing weight up and down, you're like in a very healthy weight, you can actually wear these clothes for like as long as 10 years to come, and they're just timeless beauties. Okay, so 30s is one of those times that I feel you should invest in your looks. Tip number 2. The next thing I want to talk about is for you to have a 10-year plan. Okay, so let's face it, if you're 30 as of the time you're watching this video, in the next 10 years you are definitely going to be 40. If you are 35, you're definitely going to be 45. Now that I'm saying this, I'm just like, away. Like, my age, the next 10 years is already in my face. So yeah, this is the time for you to have a 10-year plan, because they say life begins at 40. What do you really understand by life begins at 40? Life begins at 40 is for those who have worked hard and who have put in the work and who have made plans, lay the foundation in their 20s and in their 30s. That is when your life can actually start in your 40s. If you were wallowing away your time, if you were squandering your money, if you were not taking care of your looks, if you were just there, just there, you cannot start enjoying your life in your 40s. You cannot, your life cannot even begin to start with at 40s. Okay, so I think now is the time for you to just draw up that 10-year plan. Where do you want to see yourself in the next 10 years? How do you want to look in your next 10 years? How do you want your bank account to be in the next 10 years? So now is the time for you to draw up that plan, whether you are just clocking 30 or you're in your mid 30s or you're in your late 30s, it is still not late. And I also need to say this, if you're also below 30 and if you're also above 30 and you're watching above in your 40s, sorry, and you're watching this video, this will also apply to you, because at the end of the day, never say never. Like, no time is late. Okay, so yes, you need to have a 10-year. Next thing is very, very important. You need to have, this is when you start to save. If you have not been saving, this is when you need to start saving. Okay, start investing in passive income, start trying out different side hustles, because you need the money. You need that money. Okay, in general terms, I would say that a lot of people, you know, start their very first job, or like the job that gives them a substantial amount of money, probably in their mid 20s, or probably like in their towards their late 20s, and even in their early 30s. Okay, so I think that at this point in your life, somehow you may have started working, you may have done 1 or 2 jobs or owned 1 or 2 businesses. And I think, yes, in your 20s, you went to parties, you drank, you bought expensive things, you bought things that you probably did not even need. But this is the time that you have to be more conscious of your finances. You really, really, really need to be more conscious of your finances in your 30s, because like I said, when they say life begins at 40, you will not balaka to go and enter the 40. Okay, so you need to start develop a savings culture. If you have never saved in your life, this is the time for you to start saving. If you have been saving or have been working, you can also have different streams, other streams of income, passive income, have different side hustle. try out different side hustles, invest your money. Like I see a lot of people who in their 20s, the only thing that they're thinking about, or even in their 30s as well, the only thing they're thinking about is how to buy a car, how to travel, how to do this, how to do that. See, all these things are the beautiful vanity things of life, and we, including myself, enjoy those things. But I think first things first, this is my opinion, I don't think if you have money, buying a luxurious car or buying a very expensive car should not be the first thing on your mind. Things like owning a house, things like owning a land, things like investing in shares should be the first thing in your face. If you have not been doing that, it's never late. Like I said, you can actually start that now, and the best time to start that is right now in your 30s. So be very, very conscious, be very, very mindful of your finances. Next tip I'm going to be sharing is about friendship. 30s is a time that I feel most people should to some extent know themselves. Like for me personally, I was still finding myself. Like most part of my 20s, I was finding myself. I was finding who I was. How do I express myself? How do I share my opinion? How do I say no? How do I be kind and at the same time have my boundaries? Like that was the moment. My 20s were the time that I was going through all that, and I believe a lot of people also go through all that. But I think by now you already know who you are. If you're going to be a badass chick, you already know. If you're going to be like, I don't want to say bitch, but yeah, you already know. If you're going to be like, somebody who is there in the middle, you already know. I feel in your 30s, you already know yourself, okay? You already know the things you like, the things you don't like, how you want to be treated and how you don't want to be treated. And so this kind of like makes you to see life differently. It's not the way you see or you were seeing life when you were in your 20s that you're seeing life right now. And so because there is a change in perspective, you would also probably have change in friends, or maybe not really change in friends, but like you would now want to have new friends. And so I feel your 30s is a time for you to make new friends and be intentional, not just making friends, be intentional about your friendship. I personally I don't know if this is not I'm not a snob, but I'm very intentional about choosing who my friends are. Like I see somebody, I watch somebody, and I'm like, I like this person and I like to be your friend. And I'm not even afraid to, introduce myself to people these days and be like, wow, I like how you do or how you behave, or, and just like start a conversation. So I think 30s is the time for you to become intentional about the kind of friends you want to have around you. You don't want to be in your 40s and your circle of friends are like irresponsible people who are not serious with life. This is time for you to have that doctor in your corner, that lawyer in your corner, that chef in your corner, that seamstress, that entrepreneur, that banker. This is time for you to like pick people from different phases of life and have them in your corner. Leave your comfort. Of course, you've already learned how to leave your comfort zone, I would like to believe at this point. What was that? So yeah, at this point in your life, this is the time for you to like pick your friends. I'm not saying you should snub people or like just be like, okay, this person is down below. Nobody is below your level at this point in time, because you need different people from different areas of life. You need to be intentional. You need to leave your comfort zone, like I was saying. So probably before, I used to hang around with probably just bankers and just people who were like in my circle. This is the time that I am just like more open-minded. I'm like, yes, I need to have this person, I need to have that person, and I'm really intentional about that. And I'm making new friends who have mutual benefits, not friends that will drag me behind and take me to 1 million years back. Okay, so you need to be intentional about your friendship in your 30s. The next point will be for people who are looking to get married, or people who are about to get married, or like people who are not yet married. Okay, basically. So in your 30s, this is when you date with a purpose. If you're not yet married, or if you're not in a serious relationship, even if you're in a serious relationship, to come to think about it, this is time for you to date with a purpose, okay? I personally, as young as I was, I learned this a long time ago. I would not be in a relationship for being in a relationship's sake. You would never see me doing that. I would be in a relationship with a purpose. Okay, if we're compatible, where is this going to lead to? Where can I've always just been like that. Like, if you're even coming to check me, just get ready, because you're gonna answer questions. So, but that's by the way. So if you've enjoyed yourself and you've explored and done all the dating phases in your 20s, in your 30s is when you're supposed to now date with a purpose. Like, make sure that the person you're dating or the person you're in a relationship with, you people are on the same page with a lot of things, especially about your future. Because whether you are a man or a woman, oh God, there is no time. Okay, a man in his 30s should be thinking about settling down. A woman in her 30s should be thinking about settling down. We always feel like the ogadro, like there is no time, is mostly for women, but I think it goes both ways. Like, who would even want, if you're a man and you're in your 40s or probably even in your 50s and you're not yet married, never been married, not like never been married, and you are thinking that, oh, I'm a man, so whatever. Which young girl do you really think would want to be in a serious relation? Which like young, responsible, focused young lady do you think would be in a serious relationship or would want to end up with a man in his 60s or in his 50s? Most women are not like that. Okay, there are some women, yes, who prefer the older men, but majority of the women would also want somebody in their age bracket. So if you're thinking that, oh, I'm a man, so I'm gonna like do anyhow, if you do anyhow, you will see anyhow in the dating world. Okay, so if you are in your 30s, this is the time for you to date with a purpose. Okay, make sure that the person you're dating is probably on the same page with you, or at least almost on the same page with you. Again, as regards things about the future, marriage, where the relationship is leading to, and all that. You need to be very intentional about that in your 30s. The next point I want to talk about should have been the first point, but I brought it down to the last point because not everybody is a Christian. Okay, so and that is start a spiritual journey. Yeah, for me, I'm a Christian, and there is no better time to be spiritually involved in whatever I'm doing right now than now. So in my 20s, I've had my own fair share of the whole spiritual journey. There are times in your life that you're like, God, where are you? Like, what happened? I had my own fair share of that. There are people who have always had that very smooth faith and everything. I've had times where I really like questioned a lot of things, questioned my existence, questioned what we're even doing on this earth. Like, I've had times that I've questioned that, asked God questions like, where were you when this was happening or when that happened? And I think a lot of people also go through that. But I think in your 30s is when you should really, really focus on your spirituality and your spiritual journey. If you're a Christian, go close to God. Like, I don't mean be going to church, because going to church is different from being spiritual, okay? But be spiritually involved. Like, everything, this life, this world is more spiritual than we think. And I learned that not too long ago because I've had some experiences that actually made me to like see that eyeball to eyeball. But this life is actually more spiritual than we think, and we need to be close to spirituality as much as possible. So in your 30s is when whatever religion you are in, be close to, be very spiritual. Okay, like take your spiritual journey very, very seriously in your 30s. Okay, so these are the points I wanted to just share. There are so many other points, but like I feel like these are the basics. Like, when you get hold of this thing, then there is no way you will say you have not gotten hold of your life. And 30s is a very, very beautiful time. I'm personally enjoying my 30s. That time in your life where you are a full-blown adult. Like, you are a full-blown adult and you know what you want. And I think we should not waste this decade. It's a very delicate, special decade, and whatever mistake you make now will definitely affect the quality of life that you're going to have in your 40s, in your 50s, and so on and so forth. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was not ranting too much. I hope I've made sense to you, and I hope you picked a thing or two. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like me to make more of these videos, I am more than willing to sit down and share about my life, about the things I have learned so far in life. And so yeah, if you like this video and you really enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Anybody who is about to turn 30, who is in their 30s, that you feel benefit from this video, please don't hesitate to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you have not, and let me know other tips, anything you think you have learned, whether you're older or you're younger, anything you have learned that you feel you want to share. Let me know about that in the comment section. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.